info, shoot on over to BRADHEADS.com. Got many designs to celebrate my new albums and more to come. St. Patty's Day. Everything that you could like, it's there. Great merchandise from cups to hats, to shirts to hoodies. Great merch. High quality material. And it's looking really cool. So shoot on over to Bradham Shop. Help support
Hell, I love the damn posters
great
too.
cause.
The posters are badass.
The more
My wife got one of the hats in the earlier.
movie
Stuff is good. Very good.
contributes
High quality material. That's good.
So be sure to come on by. Check it out. Great merch. Appreciate it. Even if you're just looking, appreciate it. Thank you all. Thank you for looking. I hope you have a wonderful week. And just think to yourself, spring and summer's coming soon. Be styling. Thank you for the visit. And now on with the show.
Go away.
What's your nightmare? This is a story about my Aunt Elizabeth. She was always cool to me when I was a child. Little strange. We would talk about the paranormal stuff with her. She seemed legitimately cool to me. But as I got older, I started hearing different stories about my good old Aunt Elizabeth. My mother would say she loves us, but just don't go around her in her apartment on certain days and times. Just be careful. I always wondered why. I don't know. I just always wondered why. We would talk about paranormal stuff, and I could tell she was really, really into this stuff. Talking about ghosts, demons, places in this country and around the planet. It was kind of hard to believe because the way she was around me. Till one day when I was 13 years old, my mother said she did some odd things, and she asked me if I ever seen any religious books or anything of that nature, crucifix on the wall, or so I happened to go to my Aunt Elizabeth's house. Well, apartment, I should say. She opened up the door, and as we were talking, and she got me something to drink, it just dawned on me what my mother said, so I started looking around her one-bedroom apartment. And not one cross, not one So I asked my Aunt Elizabeth, how come she didn't have none of that stuff? She told me, don't worry about it. It's just not my thing. But I noticed in the corner in her bedroom, she had this tapestry over the wall and had these markings on it. And I know I've seen them somewhere before, but I just couldn't place it. So as the years went on, more and more things, little sudden things that would pop up and they'd catch my eye until I was 17. And when I was 17, I got more than I could imagine. And that was just the beginning. I happened to go to her house. We were going to go to the lakefront. And I knocked on the door. I didn't hear nothing at first, but the door was open, which I thought was strange because my aunt always locked her door. And I do have to admit, as I walked through her apartment, it felt like the room was filled with people and staring at me. Very, very unsettling feeling. Like something evil was in the room with me. And I can hear this very low, faint sound, and it sounded like my aunt praying. But I didn't have no clue, because it didn't sound like no prayers I've ever heard before. And as I slowly got to her bedroom, I peeked through the door because she had it slightly open. And where she had the tapestry, she had it down. And there was a pentagram. And it looked like it was in blood. And she was saying these weird chants and these candles lit, and then she suddenly kind of turned around. It caught me off guard and I got scared and I took off running. When I got home, she called and my mother was telling me, "What did you see?" So I explained to my mother what I saw. My mother told me, just stay away. It's nice to see your aunt, but there's certain things that she does that I don't want you to get caught up in. Then finally I asked my mom, I know what I saw. And that's why you don't see no crosses or nothing in her house. It's because she worships the devil. Now, I don't get how somebody could worship the devil, but to each their own, to burn in hell for eternity. But then again, you don't really know if it's true or not, do you? Well, listen closely to the story I'm going to tell you, because this actually happened to me. For a while, my aunt kept telling me every chance she could get by herself with us, just ignore what I did. For some reason or another, I started having nightmares. Weird things, like my aunt sitting in my room, or I had this nightmare. She was sitting in this chair I have in the corner of my room, next to the tall lamp. But the only problem is it's like a shadow person, and her eyes just red, glowing red, like she had these lights in her eyes. Every once in a while I would hear these chants swarming around my head. It was weird. Then, a couple years later, some girl ended up missing in my neighborhood. And I happened to go to my aunt's house because she wanted me to help her move some furniture. And in the basement of her apartment, that's where people would store their extra storage. And I had to look down and get these heavy boxes of weird books that she had. It was crazy. But then I got this wafting smell. And I happened to see something bluish, grayish looking. It looked like a hand, but not a mannequin hand. So, I can't believe I did this, but it scared me. I started getting scared when I was around her because she would act very strange. So I reported it to the police. I know she was my aunt, and I love her so, but I truly think she needs help. It was that girl that was missing. Turns out my aunt did something very special, as she would say, for her master, father, Lucifer. And she kept telling me, you gotta understand. And then my nightmares started progressing. Weird this, weird that sounds. I would hear it in my bedroom at night. This voice outside my window. And when she got convicted and sent to prison, she told me, I'm gonna send you something very special. Now you must accept it. I didn't think my aunt would do this, but she did. She sent me this antique mirror that she had in that special room with her pentagrams and stuff. My mother told me not to accept it, but I did, and it was fine at first until I moved out. When I finally had my own place, I would go to work, come back, stuff would be moved around the room in my whole apartment, knives be in the ceiling, and I started feeling really funny, and every so often hearing voices and constantly feeling like I was not alone. Till one night, I felt so tired, but yet I could not go to sleep. And I had that mirror in my bedroom. And every time I looked in that mirror, it looked like something shadowy with red eyes like in my dream. It would come and go like crazy. Then I would come home from work and take showers and be brushing my teeth and look up, and that all my peripheral vision, I would see things and look like I seen her face in the mirror behind me, but not her regular face. Her face twisted, dark, grayish green, black, just black as of eyes. Totally terrifying. Then everywhere I would go, it just started progressing. I would hear her voice constantly, keeping me awake. Footsteps through my apartment, doors opening and crackling. I looked in the mirror from my bed, the angle, and the reflection of my lamp next to my bed. In the mirror, the lamp was on, but the lamp was not on next to me. Her voice changed. I started hearing hoofs walk around my bed. Every time I would go to eat, I felt sick. And then I started hearing demonic voices telling me to do real bad things. All kinds of things. Wouldn't let me sleep. I felt as I was going nuts. I had a girl I used to really like. We started dating. She came over. She kept telling me something about that mirror gave her the creeps. I don't want to be near it. Get it out. And that night that she told me to get it out, she couldn't stay. She had to leave. And on her way home, for some reason or another, her acceleration pedal got stuck. She ran into a thick oak tree at 70 miles an hour. Then I started noticing more and more of this stuff started happening with other friends that come over. I would see things in it. I went to sleep one time and woke up outside next to my apartment building with a knife in my hand, blood all over. I don't know what I was doing. I just kept getting these voices everywhere I looked. It just started getting more and more. What did she do? Then I saw a demon in the mirror. And it was doing bad things to my aunt while she was laughing. And he turned around and looked at me and said, "You're next." I don't know what I was going to do, but I know I had to do something. I went to the church. They didn't believe me, which I find it ironic, saying I believe in an invisible evil man which don't exist. How can you say that when you believe in God? You don't see him? Does he come over and play cards with you? Give me a break. nice, counting on people who's supposed to help you. So I had to go elsewhere. I found a paranormal group that was willing to help me. They witnessed the demon in the mirror. My bed shaking. They said one moment my eyeballs rolled in the back of my head. I can't believe this, but they got it. Voices was coming out of my body that I can't even make. And then a couple people in my building were dead. They were found dead from their families with these weird things written on the wall with their blood. The smell kept coming in my apartment. 3 people died because of that mirror. And one of my friends had his eyeballs burnt out. But they finally realized and found out that this mirror belonged to a man, which a long time ago cast a spell. Supposedly he was a warlock, an evil man. I had to get it away from me. I took a baseball bat and totally beat the crap out of it. Busted in 1,000 pieces. Do you know, 3 days later, it was right back in my room, and as I was standing there staring at it, this evil laugh, you can hear it kind of faintly, like it was coming from my closet. Scared to death, I ran to my closet and opened up, and there was nothing there, but I kept hearing the laughter. And it kept telling me weird things, like I would never be able to sleep again. The head preacher came to my house, said I need a blessing and I need to take that mirror and take it to seclusion and where no one can find it, and do these spells to bind it in holy water and spells to keep it in a glass box.
Thy will be done.
Well, my life's been somewhat a little bit better, but it still contacts me once in a while. But I can't tell you where I put it either. Just know that there's something beyond. Be careful what you wish for. You may just get it.